Hey there, happy Tuesday. Today we are going to have a little lesson about the journey of the emotion. So actually today's a little bit more educational, but from it you can pull whatever action steps or tips that you need that work for you. Because here's the deal. Emotions are still like this weird taboo-y thing societally. Of course, it's getting much better, but there's still particular pockets of the population or domains of life or things like that where it's like, there's no room for emotions, or I don't feel emotions, and like you can't let them rule you, and all that stuff about how feelings are bad and they get in the way and all of these kinds of things. And so today I think it's important to talk about the journey of the emotion of what happens to us, and this whole good bad emotion thing. Those of you that have worked with me know that I'm, like, I try and stay away from those words as much as possible, because there's no such thing. Every emotion is valid. Every emotion is a needed part of the human experience. And so there's no such thing as a good or bad emotion. But by going through this journey, it may help you realize why it is that those judgments are being had. So here it goes. The journey of the emotion. So first of all, they just happen to us. They do. We don't choose them. We can. That's advanced emotional intelligence, is learning how to choose your emotions and enter into them. But the reality is, for 100% of the people on this earth, emotions just happen to us. They just happen to us. They pop onto us. They just boom, they just go in. They can be triggers from past traumatic events. They can be part of our reptilian brain that is still really scared of saber-toothed tigers. They could be all different types of things based on history, DNA. They can be chemical depending on what type of hormones are going through your body at the time. They can be carried down from generation to generation through anxiety, depression, and other types of memories, and depending on your beliefs about ancestral stuff and how it continues down through the generations. There's some thoughts there. So the reality here is, the lesson to learn is that the emotions do in fact just pop onto us. They just happen to us. They just happen to us. And sometimes without warning, and oftentimes without warning, and they just happen to us. And our experience of emotions is through the sensations that we feel in our bodies. We don't hear an emotion. We don't see an emotion. We don't smell an emotion. We feel our emotions through the sensations in the body. That's how we know we're having an emotion. So for someone that is not self-aware enough of their own body, or slow down enough and be present in the moment enough, they're not going to feel this phenomenon of the emotion just happening to our bodies. So oftentimes what happens is, especially for those of us that have been raised to dismiss that emotions even exist, is the only time we really notice them is when, and I'll use the judgmental language so that it's easier to really grasp this concept of, if it's a big negative emotion, then we feel it, right? If we're like just so angry or sad or disappointed or frustrated, the emotion or the physiological sensations that come along with those emotions are so much stronger and sharper than contentment, happiness, calm, right? Those sensations are more mild. And so unless we're paying attention, we're not going to feel them as strongly or as soon or anything else, right? So now we get back to what we consider our negative emotions, the ones that have the sensations that are strong and sharp and big and hard and unavoidable. Notice what's happening is, what we're actually doing in that moment is we're judging the emotion. We're judging the sensation the emotion has on us. So if we're not paying attention to, or not giving any credit to, or not, being aware of these more milder emotions, we're only going to notice the super sharp ones, and they feel bad. We're not noticing that there is an ebb and flow, that there are some warm and fuzzies and lightness and openness that come with some of these emotions. We're just feeling the racing heart, the sweaty palms, the fat, the inability to take a breath, the red face, and all the negative emotions, the big negative emotions. And so what happens is, because these sensations happen to us so quickly, and they just happen to us, we didn't do anything to seek them out. It's not like something like exercise, right? Like where we purposefully go out to cause some pain in the name of health, in the name of something, but we're purposefully entering into it. We expect it. We know what's going to happen because we're causing it on purpose. But this is a pain that happens without our awareness, without our choosing, without any purposefulness. It just happens to us, which makes it even more shocking, even bigger, even all these things. So taking note that what happens here is, it's not the emotion itself. Like if I say to you happy and I say frustrated, like the emotion itself doesn't hurt you. The name of the emotion doesn't hurt you. It's the sensation that goes along with the emotion that we judge as positive or negative. And if we judge it as negative, we want it to stop and we want to run away from it. And then that's when we enter into avoidance. And avoidance can look like yelling, punching, literally running away, scrolling on the phone, doing anything to stop feeling that particular sensation in the body. So notice what we're talking about here. There really, really is no such thing as a positive emotion or a negative emotion. What there is our opinion, our judgment of, does this sensation feel good or bad? And then that is where we make our choice for action, is from our judgment about the emotion, not the emotion itself, and not even the situation that caused the emotion itself. We are judging the sensations in our bodies, and then we are saying, I didn't choose this and I don't like it, so I'm going to run away from it. And then that's when we make choices that may not be so healthy for us. That's when we make choices that can alienate other people and just make a big mess relationship wise. We can make really, really harsh judgments. That's why making decisions during these big emotions, not the best idea, especially if you're making long-term decisions. I'm never going to do this again. Now I need to move. Now I need to quit. Now I need to break up. Now I need, like, these big, huge, life-changing decisions based on a temporary sensation in the body. And it's not even the sensation, it's your judgment of the sensation. I'm saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm saying that, I don't like how this feels. This feels negative. This feels bad. So I need to make it stop. So I need to do something just as big to overshadow this sensation in the body. So note what we're talking about. There's no such thing as a bad emotion. Our emotions do just happen to us. They show up as sensations in the body, and it is our judgment of the sensations that has us making positive or negative decisions. It's not the emotions that make the decisions for us. It is our judgment about how the emotion feels that makes the decisions. It is our judgment about how the emotion feels in the body that has us making decisions. So what does this mean? If you want to stop making those big decisions that have long-term repercussions because of a temporary situation, it's time that we become aware of these sensations and become tolerant of them. It's not going to kill you. It really, really, really isn't. It's not going to kill you to sit in sadness for a while. It's not going to kill you to sit in disappointment or frustration or anger without taking action. Without taking action. And words are action. That's all in there. Without making any decisions. Just sit in it until it passes. And if we allow this to happen, it'll actually pass in just seconds, versus the cleanup that can take hours, days, months, years, or the rest of our lives. Some of these big, harsh decisions we've made just because we're trying to run away from these sensations can be life-changing decisions for many, many people And it's all because we just couldn't sit with the uncomfortableness for a few seconds. So, with this information, I encourage you and invite you to start becoming aware of the sensations of the emotions in your body and releasing the judgment as good or bad. And what happens if you're just curious and just sit with and give yourself time to feel it, to build that muscle of tolerance to these big emotions so that we stop running away from them by making big decisions that end up being very messy. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next Tuesday.